after a very minor sabbatical, I'm back. And Sean called about 8:30 and said he'll be here any minute. So that's about right. 4 hours later, I think that'd be just about right. He'll be here any time, within half an hour. So today's project, let's see, I think I have my list over here. I haven't been here in forever, it seems like. I don't know where all my lists are. I love making lists. So let's see what the foam looks like here. I had the all tail out. And, foam looks fine. That's just fine with me. Look at that. That angle kind of works. Perfectly okay with me. So one of today's endeavors will be to, depends on what side of the car you're on when you put your prop rod in, is I am going to hook up a vacuum gauge right here. And this will help me when I crank her up to tune her a little bit. Now, you can't always use vacuum to tune your vehicle because everybody wants something a little different. Depends on your gas, your altitude, stuff like that. But I kind of just go for maximum vacuum. So there's that. Let's see, there's what was I doing there? Oh, that was the drive dog. I'm kind of done with that. And let's see, shrink tube. Oh yes, blah 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 blah. Yeah, there's that. Now, here's what I was really looking for. So cold black. So I've got to see about getting the vacuum gauge in there. So I keep all my. I try to segregate things by what they do. Things that cut, things that have gauges, things, you know, that knobs, you know, like anybody else. So generally, when I want a vacuum gauge, I come over here. And there's my go-to baby right there, because this not only does vacuum, it does pressure, boys. That one's been kind of suffered, hadn't it? So if you get to right here, you're really down here because the needle's off. And this is just, to me, the best way to get one where you want it. And then you can go to your average. Oh, look at these things. These were off my old air conditioner manifold. I didn't know I kept those. Pittsburgh. Here's another one, and you can see the needles off on that one too. I didn't realize I had two of them. But whenever I get a gauge, almost no matter what, I keep it because they do go bad nowadays. Well, that's an oldie there. That's a nice one. So there's my old compression checker. That's the hard way, ladies and gentlemen. The correct way is this way. The correct way is go to the trouble and get yourself one of these. And this one has the little release port, and this actually will screw down into the spark plug hole on most things. Got the rubber O-ring. That gives you the most accurate reading. I try to keep that clean that way. So this is by far the best compression tester that I think I've ever seen or had. This company really is something. So let me put that back in its. Get my old sock and put back on there. A lot of guys at auto parts, I don't want to mess with your old socks. Learn to love them. Okay. Alright, well, I'll put that on there in a minute. Let's see if I can get this hooked up over there somehow. I'm hoping that I don't need to do too many things. You know, I don't really want. Where does this vacuum line go to? This is such a intricate manifold on Jaguar E-types. These, the 6-cylinder ones anyway. I need to clean up. It's number one. That just goes to here, so that's not a big deal. I think I'll go ahead and just take that off. And this regulator thing can really screw you up right there, so make sure that diaphragm's not busted. Okay, let's see what we got here. So what you want to do here is check your vacuum system. This gauge is not very good. That's actually relieved of pressure. So I don't know. That's just the way it goes. So I've got this hooked up to the vacuum chamber, that big black chamber underneath that valve. And it's just a good opportunity to just put a little vacuum on it and just see if there's any problem. If there is, you can get your smoker and smoke them out. Now you got to do this on each end. So I'm doing it on, I think I'm going to change this hose. Didn't know my left hand could hold up that long. So we're holding, I guess, 4 or 5 pounds of pressure, which is enough. And it's not leaking down. So we're going to call that side good. Yeah, that side's fine. I mean, it doesn't, any vacuum leak is bad. But, you know, if you're going to hold that much, I mean, you know, 4 or 5 pounds. For those of you who don't know it, when you see bar on these things, this measures mercury vacuum and up to 30, because that's as far as you can go generally. And 1 bar I think is 14.5 psi. Of course, we're talking sea level and all that other stuff. So we're at about 5 pounds. It says 10, but it's really about 5. See, it's holding fine. Okay, so let's hook it up to the manifold side here. I think we're about through with all we're about ready to crank her, I think. Let's get all these claws out of here. And if you have a shop, I recommend that you use your paper stuff for oil. I've tried to impress that on Sean, but he just grabs whatever he finds, and then I end up losing my cloth, my red cloth ones, but that's okay. He means well. I guess that's a good excuse as any, yeah? Okay, let's hook this up to the other side. All right, we're ready to check this side when we crank her up and see where our engine vacuum is. So just simply hook up there to there. And this thing, if you've got a vacuum pump, you think you don't really need it. But there are times when it comes in handy instead of dragging all that other stuff out. I am not the lazy type, but you know, sometimes, especially in this time of year, I just feel like I just want to get out of here as soon as I can. It's so hot. So we're ready to test vacuum, and we'll just put that up here, and that means we're about ready to start it. But I'm a little nervy about that. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I'm going to put lights in my fountain up at the house. I'm going to put an up light at the base. I wanted to get started on this so I tell you the reason I want to put lights here is because it helps you remember to turn it off at night. So what have I got? I got these, oh, those are just old. 20 watt. 12 volt. I don't know if I've got any of those old housings anymore. They kind of just go rotten. Guess I could just go get an uplight thing, but I don't think I need to. What do you think? Yeah, let's see what we got here. That's a big old dog there. We don't need any. Well, might as well use. Uh-oh. No, I thought that was the visitor from the east. The great Shawniak. So boy, this is this thing here is it's a big heavy thing. Let's see if I can make this run 2 lights. How does this work here? So there's your 12 volt AC. Yeah, sometimes when I take these out, I'll leave the wires connected so you don't get confused. I guess I could plug it in, check the voltage on that. I guess it might be the same. Well, look at that. I didn't cut that plug or anything. Neat. And probably won't. Let's just do check the voltage on that thing. This thing here, I don't know how many watts this thing puts out, more than I need. And I can just set it on a timer when I do this. Wouldn't that be cool? I think I'll do that. I didn't really mean for this. You know how it is. Everything, one thing leads to another. Oops. Ooh, at least there's a wind. I'll take any kind of air movement this time here. Don't want to get started on too much because Sean keeps threatening to come. It's going on 2 o'clock now, so I've got this thing turned on, and it has a little light sensor right here, so this is going to be fun. So you got to put it on alternating current. Yeah, I got 12 volts AC. This is not direct current like a lot of people think. I guess in some it might be, I don't know. See, I got 12 volts on here and there, so this thing can, I could light up my house. I could make it look like Dallas Fort Worth here if I wanted to. So, but I don't want that. Let's unplug. And I'm going to see about, I was hoping I had, I think I threw all those away. They were so rotten, all those uplight things. I think this thing actually has an exterior. You can put another, I don't know, maybe this isn't the one, but some of them you can get that optical thing that works anywhere else. But I think that's the thing that makes it trigger right there, the light sensor. And then you can set it for a number of hours. Let's see if I can get it to mock up and run here. I have descended far down into the rabbit hole. So I got these 2 wires here. And the way I do this thing is can you see any of that? You see there are 2 holes. These are the little screws that come out of there. And then I get these eyelets and I solder them in. And I've had this on my mind for a little while. So it's better that I just do it, and then I can concentrate. See, that's what happens is, oh, I know what this is going to do. That ain't going to go. Well, I'll say it's better that you see what I'm doing. It'll go good enough for what I got going here. So I know you shouldn't do this, but I do it. And I'm okay with a percentage of these because I'm going to wrap them anyway. And you just do like that. And then I use... all right, and then I just do, oh, I gotta turn that on. My soldering iron gets hot so fast. But I insulate these. Now you could use your shrink tube here. I'm not gonna worry about it. Come on, baby, let's get going here. Boy, that breeze is nice. I know there's more storms coming, but that's okay with me. So this stuff is designed to be outside anyway, and you can hear it. Listen to it fizz. Okay. Then I don't have to worry so much. And I'm using, it's the liberal use of dielectric grease also. So, wasn't that fun? You thought that my channel was boring. It's so boring, in fact, that if you want it to be better, you need to subscribe. And then I can do more. This is the way I do it. I just sort of dunk it like that if I got the chance. And you got to use flux because you got to get the acid on there to, hey, that fit even better. You got to get that acid on there to burn the oxidation off. And if you don't think there's any oxidation there, you're wrong. There is. And the solder just flows so much better. Now, I have in my life slipped and cut the wire, but that's a kind of a rare event, and I feel like I get more control with that. My dad used to strip wires with side cutters. I never saw that to be a good idea. So I've got these pre-World War II strippers here that I've been using since I was about 2 or 3 years old. So, all right, I'll show you what we get out of this here in a minute. Now you say to yourself, Self, what's he going to do? How in the world is he going to put those on the ends of this? Just wait and see. Just wait for it. So I have, turn that off. I have done this work here. Got the eyelets, got it taped, got the electric grease on it. Had to go to the grinder and cut the eyes a little bit on both sides to get it go into the slot. But there you go. And the other thing you should do, you see this little thing right here, you should run your wires through that to give you a little bit of strain relief. Of course, you want to do it the best way possible. So So, rabbit holes are us. Okay. And now it's time. Now it's time to do the lighting, like Andy said. Yeah, it gets a little tangled webby over here. What a tangled webby we weave. So, you know, got almost 4 inches of rain here in the past 24 hours. It always rains the same. You just never know when or how much. Always rains the same amount. I just remembered in the nick of time, I have all of these LED lights, and these are actually LED lights for exterior use. So we'll see how that works. I've already got them soldered in. Let's plug this in. Usually the thing comes right on. It goes click, bang. There we go. Won't that be effective? All right, well, let me go show you. I guess I gotta wait for nightfall now so I can show you what the deal is. So that means I've got work to do. What do you know? I love it. I might go back Jaguar here in a minute. Who knows? Yeah, let's just. I just want to. I want to double check this charging system, and I want to go over a few things here with you. Now I redid the fuel lines on this. Other than that.
Yeah, I saw what you did.
That filter's been cleaned.
Yes.
And I got a new line there.
Yeah.
And I got a new line here. I did not replace that line because it seemed to be pretty good.
Yeah,
that one there was all beat to pieces.
That's just a return line.
Now, let's. Don't. Okay, here we go. Let me show you. So, let's see. That's the wiring diagram. If you want to keep it somewhere, you want me to keep it.
You might ought to keep that.
Okay, I'll hold on to that. That's the way you wire that funky alternator thing.
Okay.
So I kind of want to keep that in some kind of apple pie order.
Right.
So here was your old lines and some old clamps and some of the mess. So that's the mess that was therein. Yeah.
The bucket of mess.
So we're going to, I think I had that undone. So we are on DC volts. And I told everybody, and I hope they remember this, but landscaping lights are 12 volts, and a lot of people think it's DC, but it's actually not. Okay, so it's 12.76 volts. And it always seems to go back to that when it settles down.
Okay.
I don't know, I guess the battery just finds its happy spot.
Happy spot, there you go.
And then what you're going to do is I want you can crank it up.
Okay.
And then we're going to see how much of a charge we got on. So go ahead and
do I need to crank it, or
go ahead.
Do I need to roll it out here?
No, you can crank it right there. Okay. You don't roll it out because that's too far down.
Yeah, the door.
We've already. Everybody hits that door. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Not again. Yeah. So yeah, I just want you to tell me. It seems like it's starting better. Very sad song. See?
Got plenty of juice.
Yeah, see, the starter is good.
Yeah.
And I think that the glow plugs are okay. I should have bought my FLIR down here. We could have watched. I looked at those glow. I checked the resistance on them and they seem okay.
The glow thing's working.
It's working.
It is? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not getting any orange signal on that at all.
You're not? Okay. Well, it's
Let's see.
no orange
I'm
signal?
not getting any heat out of it either.
Oh, well, we'll try that in a second. It's wanting to fire. Well, let me see what that is. Hang on. It has been a terrible, long afternoon. I had to, the little coil wire, when you push down the glow plugs, the little coil glows, it broke. And I guess one of the reasons was this connector back here at these glow plugs, this connector here was very loose. It was a crimp connector. I've brazed it, I've soldered it in now. And so that wasn't half of my troubles today, but that's okay. We're not here to talk about troubles, are we? So The other thing I noticed, and this is important, they had the glow plug heater connected to the ignition switch. This wire right here is direct battery. That wire right there is ignition. So they were running the glow plug switch to the ignition switch. So you had to turn the key on and then run all the current through this key switch to get to all this heavy amperage. I can't see how that was good. So, as against my better judgment, but I don't know what else to do, I've run the glow plug switch directly to the battery cable or battery hookup here. And you can see right there it says BAT, BAT. And that says IGN, and then this one's generally the starter, the high one. So I don't know what happened, but the I appealed to tradition today. Well, it worked for 15 years, didn't it? Lucky us. And then just a little bit, all this resistance from that loose wire and going through this thing, I just think is just bad. So I got all kind of heavy cable here trying to cut down on that. So then Sean comes up with these 2x8x8s, and there's some kind of redwood. Looks like a dog line there, didn't it? It kind of scared me for a second. So anyway, and this stuff means business. And I had to cut them in half and then cut angles on the ends. Man, my table saw is 220, but this stuff here, that's some hard stuff. So I had to double cut it. Let me show you what I mean. I mean, that stuff it's almost like rock maple. So I busted out both table saws, but I ended up using my old rigid hooked up to the station. So I guess I could bring that one up here, but I'm not gonna. Pretend that piece of wood's here, and you gotta run it through here. So what I ended up doing was getting this as level as I could with my miter thing, and I clamped the giant pieces of wood here, and I put the other piece of wood. I was too tired, and I was afraid he was gonna show up and have to go, and I clamped this on the other side just for a handle and guided it through. But do you see the problem here? See, the problem is that don't cut all the way through. It does at that 45-degree angle, which is the maximum on this thing, and that one too, that table saw too. So I had to do that and then get the recip saw and make the rest of the cut. But we've all been there, you know, in these hard places. But guiding this through a solid piece of wood without it coming out the other end, you know, is rather stressful on the machine. So I was able to cut it. This is something to do with the trailer. So I just sort of let the reciprocating saw fall where it will. And you can see, sometimes you get this little ridge right there, and that's okay. I don't think, you know, this is going to be as good as you can get. And my recommendation would be make the cuts, and then the first cuts that aren't all the way through, so you get your angles right, and you know, keep your piece flat so your angles stay up and you don't mess up on that. And oh, that's the song. And so that's where we ended up there. Boy, that was hard. I mean, I'm a pretty good woodworker, but I don't usually have people bring me tree trunks, sequoia tree trunks to work on. Holy cats. I'd rather work on tapered little legs and stuff like that. But at least I was able to do it and think of a way to do it. And with the equipment that I had. Been a wonderful table saw. And it was a Christmas present from a long time ago. And it's been the present that's kept on getting. It was 110, but you can wire it for 220. I did that a long time ago. And then I plug it up there so children can't get to it. You know, children gonna come here anyway. But I just did that. Oh, I remember why I did the 220. I thought the lift was gonna be 220. It was 110. So anyway, that's sort of the day. It is 5:45. So this thing is down because apparently this Kubota little heat up switch is important. You can't, I was sort of thinking, why don't you just put these bad boys together here but that coil apparently gives enough resistance to keep the wires from melting. And so, you know, just it'll be a couple days before we get that. Oh, I had that hooked up. I'm glad I recorded that. I always love when I go in there and edit these videos and I see where I've disconnected the batteries. And she's still charging. You got the little green light. Been mighty stormy here and mighty cool. It's probably 73 or 4, and that's something for around here at this time of August. Well, I don't know. I don't know what else to do now. I've worked myself out of the job. So that's good because I'm near about plain exhausted. So, okay. Oh, do you believe I was going to do some brush painting on Spitfire today? Not really. The meteorite struck. That's also known as Sean. Oh, I think I showed the other thing. If I did, fine. I don't know. I guess I'll have to edit that Jaguar thing out. So we'll see. I've been waiting around a long time, and I hadn't heard anything. But I was up there thinking that I am positive that when Sean sees these, he's going, well, I didn't think they turned out that short. Let's see if I'm right. I don't know if that's true, because when you look at these, you will think they're short, but they're not, because let me pull tape. See, it's about 40. It's about 40 and a half, and they were 43-ish. And there's going to be the width of the blades here. You got that times 3. So that's called kerf. And so I bet you he's not going to be happy with these. He's going to think they're too short. And now let's see. It's 7:17. I hadn't heard from him. He told me to cut these in half. They were not even, and I cut them in half, and then I had to cut off both ends. And I am probably, I don't know. I bet you anything, I'm going to have to do this again. He's going to get more lumber, and we're going to have. He should have got 6-footers. He should have got 4 6-footers. And then because this kind of angle ain't going to help you very much. Ugh. Guys, it gets aggravating. I know it's going to happen, and this is why I put my scraps here. I'm going to say, see, there's your angles, and I don't know what that's going to do for anybody. So anyway, it's just let's just close up. There's a big storm warning out here, so I'm coming down here to close it out, and so. It does look rather ominous out there. I don't know. It's just got all this old, dumb equipment. I gotta close those windows there. So, okay, well, I guess. We gotta do the fountain. Boy, I almost forgot it. Oop. Almost forgot about the lights in the fountain. So we'll do that, and then we'll close them out. I learned something interesting in that the battery cables were mixed up. So when somebody, not pointing any fingers because there's nobody there, they had the battery cable hooked up to the ignition. So that ain't no good. So I actually had to wring this out and figure it out. The other thing I have learned, let me make sure this is off, battery charging. This switch is sort of chalky at best. It kind of moves around. I don't know does it screw down or is it just sort of a pressure fit. So it's kind of a pressure fit, but that's not exactly what we're looking for in happy times here. They do have this nice cover, but the battery things were switched around. So now that we know that, things can progress. So I'm going to go glow plug hot wire. These are the glow plug wires. I'm kind of tired of everybody saying, well, maybe you didn't you know, have the enough amperage through them wires. Yeah, you don't even know what amperage is, so don't be coming to me with stuff like that. So anyway, they did. So I'm gonna quadruple that. Probably get a little bit more resistance in that, but that's okay. Boy, this thing vibrates like all hell, don't it? And let's just make sure everything stays tight. All right. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get it started or not, but I'm going to try by myself. I don't need anybody to tell me anything. So let's see if I can get it to roll here. The other thing that happened was I didn't realize that the bleeding techniques people use sometimes are questionable, let's just say. So I've looked up all my stuff on the YouTube and other places about how to bleed this system, and so I hope that I'll get this right. Don't you hope I get it right? I know I do. And I can tell you this too, there's no fuel in that line, so I don't know. Just go find out for yourself is the thing here. Just do it yourself. Just to prove that I did it, I got that hose right there, that clear hose. I hooked up to here and I formed a vacuum, and I got diesel all the way up to here. I took the air cleaner off just to kind of give me a look about there. I was able to heat up the glow plugs even without the thing with a ballast resistor, an old ballast resistor, a broken one, but boy, she got hot, and she heated up the plugs enough for us to have this kind of action. Ready? Think of that. That right there, and then make sure that's loose and disconnect the battery. And so I've been running her a little bit. See, she's almost at like 150. So those Kubota heat 'em up switches that burned up on us yesterday, those things are lousy on the internet. You can find them anywhere. So I got all the rust and dirt out of here. I tell you, I don't know what to say sometimes. And I know that's hard for you to believe, but I got all the air out of it, out of the injectors. I feel good about when we get the the heat 'em up switch. That's a glow plug, and that's all that thing is. And the one for this one I think is like 25 ohm resistance or something. I don't know, but anyway, she runs. Let's go over there and see about that thing now. It was a dark and stormy night. Tell you what, it's getting there. Boy, that's pretty thick. So let's go up and try to do something. See, they're always taking real good care of their equipment. See, that thing's been sitting there I don't know how long. Yeah, it's pretty bad out here. Ooh. Okay, you ready? Too bad. It's not dark enough yet. Wait for it. Almost. Not quite. I can still see some twilight out there. Just a little bit longer. Hang on. Okay. It looks like dark. Are you ready? I don't even know if I'm ready. So here's my fountain. I'm getting ready to hit the switch. Whoa! Well, that's a thing of beauty. And mostly, I'm going to understand. Oh, it's time. It's 1:45. I'm going to understand and know that, oh, that is infinitely better than I ever dreamed. Look at that. You would think you were on the Appian Way in Rome. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna screw. Oh, gotta watch where I'm stepping. Oh. Oh, there you go. Gotta screw those back in. Oh, no. Those are my warning lights. Will Robinson. Wow. I am digging that little. This camera has been inside in the air conditioning, so it has gotten a little bit of the mist on it. Okay. Give me a thumbs up. Like and subscribe. Sheesh. I never dreamed that would be so good. Bye-bye, guys. What does Uncle Tom, what does he say? See you tomorrow.